Actually, come over a little bit. Don't want you to be too tiny.
That's
It's not frightened. Okay.
You're just taller than me.
Oh, I'm so tall.
You're so much bigger than me. It looks so much worse because, like, this is also the chair that leans back versus that one doesn't.
You're gonna be half my size.
And I just slouch versus, like, if
Yeah.
I sit up like this, then I'm fine. But I slouch on like a little tiny child.
It's okay. Just a little,
Just a little tiny child.
little Iron Fist. Are you sure you're old enough for this?
I'm old enough for the What If ride.
Okay.
How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. I am here with my fiance.
Termites.
This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. We are reacting to What If.
Oh, it's What If time.
It's What If time. This is the one that I'm very curious about because it's an animated thing in the MCU.
Yeah.
That's unique, new, cool. Like, this is something that they could have easily done in live action, but they chose not to. I assume to further make it non-canon,
Right.
as opposed to there's going to be a lot of stuff in here they couldn't pull off in live action. This you could only do in animation. Also, we're just kind of past that era in general.
Yeah, because like when people say animation, they usually aren't saying like CG or like live action CG, but like a lot of MCU movies are heavily animated. Like that is what it is. There is an animation studio that is drawing the buildings and putting them in frame and moving them around. Like that is animation.
That is still animation, yes. And the fact that we're getting further and further away from like what is like there is still like what's a purely animated film versus blah blah blah. But either way, this is our first animated thing, assumingly more so to bring it away from like feeling like, oh well I saw this and that happened, so that must be canon sort of thing. But also just interesting to see what MCU animation is going to be like.
Yeah.
Is it going to be very good? Is it going to be a little bit sloppy?
Are they getting a good studio? What kind of style are they going for? Like, are they going to do this is for adults, so it needs to look like garbage?
Is this going to be like Big Mouth? Every character's going to look like shit. But yeah, like, I'm curious what style they're going to go for. Are they going to go for, like, more anime style, more like comic book style, like literally comic book style, more cartoony style, something like a half CG style?
Yeah.
Like cell shaded maybe. There's many different styles they could go for. Curious to see what they go for.
Very curious.
I doubt even what they go for is something I'm going to be able to name off the top of my head. But that's all I got to say about the What If.
Okay.
This episode is What If Captain Carter were the first Avenger. Which I think is also good to have here as we're having Sharon Carter come in as Agent Carter and everything now. I think this is good to like just have more Agent Carter in general, like in the MCU stuff. Any predictions? You give your predictions first.
Like I will say this is like the one that I kind of like. I've seen like whenever they promote What If, I'm pretty sure the image they use is the image for Captain Carter.
Okay. The only one of these I know one other one. Do you know one other one?
No.
Okay. I know one other one. I didn't know this one.
Okay.
But yeah, I know one other one that's a big comic thing in general. Isn't this a comic one, actually?
I don't think so.
Not First Avenger, but is there not a comic one that's like, what? Maybe I knew about this then.
Maybe.
I thought there was a comic one that was like, What If, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm guessing this is just a, like, what if, for whatever reason, like, they couldn't find Steve, or, there is no Steve in this world, and so instead Peggy was chosen to take the serum.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess there wasn't, like, just, she was in Project Rebirth instead of him. Is it called Project Rebirth in the MCU?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, whatever. The thing that made the super soldier thing, I think she's going to go through that. I don't think it's going to be like a Steve existed, but he couldn't go through it because something happened.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be Steve never existed in this or something like that. But yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be less about like the 40s stuff and more about like Avengers 2012.
Okay.
Because it's what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger?
Yeah.
Not like... Well, I assume if we're going to be sticking only in the 40s, I assume it would be what if Captain Carter was Captain America.
Right.
Or like, I don't know how you would phrase that. Like,
yeah. Because the thing
maybe
is, like,
you would phrase it like that.
Yeah, because the first movie is called Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah,
but
which
it has, like,
bothers
no
me
things.
anyway. Like, he's the first Avenger for 5 seconds of the movie at the very end. But yeah, so, you know, maybe that is what they meant. Because, yeah, I'm not sure how I would phrase it otherwise. But this gives you an idea for the MCU. I mean, I know the comics have also referred to him as the First Avenger, which I hate way more. Or, like, Earth's Mightiest Heroes refers to Cap as the First Avenger.
Yeah.
Which I hate, because he's not. He's not the First Avenger. But, like, in terms of, like, time, I guess he's the oldest
No, he isn't.
Avenger.
Thor.
I guess, yeah, Thor's the oldest Avenger and the first Avenger.
Yeah. Like, if we use that metric of who is the first.
Yeah. Whether it's oldest or first to become an Avenger, it would be Thor. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm not sure who would be technically the first to become the Avenger in the MCU, since it's kind of... I guess Cap.
I guess.
Like, it kind of went to him first.
Because, yeah.
So I guess it fits. But again, he was first Avenger for like 5 seconds. But anyway, I guess my prediction, I'm going to change it. It's going to be all 40s. Going complete opposite. It's all 40s.
Because, yeah, my guess is also all 40s. Like, I think it's going to be, like, almost all 40s. I think we might have the epilogue of she falls into the ice for some reason and wakes up in modern times.
Also, I think you wouldn't go with what if Captain Carter were Captain America. Also, because that sounds a little bit clunky. But also, because she's not American. So she wouldn't be Captain America.
Right. Very strange.
Yeah. But still, I wonder what that's going to be like. Like, she's, I assume, going to be Captain Carter.
Yeah.
But, like, what's the propaganda going to be like that? You know, what are we doing there?
Yeah. Because it's an American project.
I mean, I assume this is going to have Peggy's voice actor, voice actress. Her actress being the voice actress in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to see Howling Commandos.
Ooh. Because,
especially since they have a closer relationship with Peggy than they did Steve. Except for Bucky. But
wanna see it.
Yeah, I mean, also, to be fair, the Howling Commandos are fucking insane in the MCU. Compared to, like, the movie and Agent Carter, two different Howling Commandos, and neither one of them is, like, the actual group. So...
And this is a what if? They could always fudge it a little bit and say, well, actually, if it was Captain Carter instead of Captain America, then the original team of Howling Commandos from 616 would have assembled in the MCU.
Hey, I would love for them to do that. Because, again, the Howling Commando... we've talked about this, not on camera, though. But the Howling Commandos in the MCU, in Captain America: The First Avenger, were supposed to be the Invaders, I think
the Invaders.
Yeah, the Invaders, which is some of the ones there. And then quickly they were like, nobody knows this name. Let's switch to Howling Commandos, even though it has, like, 2 Howling Commandos on it.
Yeah.
But at the very least, we gotta get dum-dum. We gotta get...
We gotta.
I think that's all we gotta say.
Last thing is, we've been on and off about whether Watcher's going to be in it.
Oh, yeah!
I'm putting down my stake as hard. We need to have the Watcher in What If.
Yeah.
Because I think it would just be, like, very fun as an anthology thing. Because otherwise, like, in my mind, it would just be, like, title card, and then thing. It would be so, like, what the fuck is this? Whereas they can make it more like a Twilight Zone-y, like, here's... You know when Captain America was a man, but what if Captain America was not American, nor a man? Would that be fucked up or what? Here we go.
Not the woke universe.
Oh no!
Not in my MCU. But no, I do think that's a good idea. Like, we were also talking about, like, these are exclusive to Disney Plus, but there's plenty of people who just go, all right, play this, and not look at the title or anything like that. So are they going to put these titles in the thing? Because I feel like these titles are more important than most titles to anything.
Yeah, like, we try to always look at the title just because, it's a nice way to set it up and give our predictions.
Yeah.
But these feel mandatory. Because, same thing with, like, the What If, covers.
Yeah.
Like, it's the hard, like, you want to sell people on the idea of this crazy thing.
So yeah, I'm curious if they're going to have a title card, even if they don't. Like, is it going to be, like you said, like the Watcher going to come out and say, like, yo, I'm the Watcher. I want him to say his fucking thing every time.
Yeah.
I can never remember what it is, because he never follows his own rules, so I can't fucking remember his rules. But, yeah, so I also really, really hope we have the Watcher introduce all these.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything about, like, you've read some What Ifs and stuff like that? You just want to say something about, like, the nature of What Ifs? Like, what are you expecting this to be versus, like, how the comic What Ifs go?
I expect it to be somewhat similar, like, because we're doing a bunch of multiversal stuff, and because this is animated, I'm just gonna put I'm gonna put it out there and say, at least one of these will be, like, we'll have a reference to it in, like, whether it's Multiverse of Madness or No Way Home or something.
If one of them gets a reference to No Way Home.
I can see
No Way Home is a multiverse movie, but it feels very specific to Spider-Man. I mean, they could have a What If Spider-Man.
We might have What If Spider-Man in here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If they do, like, the what if someone else was bit by the spider, it's going to be so uninteresting in the MCU. He doesn't have, like, Ned would be interesting.
Yeah.
What if Ned is Spider-Man?
But yeah, because the thesis of What If, the reason why Marvel started doing What Ifs, is because DC did a lot of, like, imaginary stories. Which is the concept of, what if, like, let's do a story that doesn't count. Because then we can kind of do anything. We can have Lois find out that Superman is Clark Kent. Or we can have the entire Earth explode. And then it's like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's imaginary. Don't think about it. Whereas the idea from Marvel Editorial was, that sucks, because you're buying something that isn't real.
Yeah.
So, instead of that, what if they're alternate universes? Even if we never go to that universe again, it did happen. There is a world where that happened, and by saying that, like, A, it's more sci-fi, B, it makes you think, like, oh, well, this could have happened. Like, Spider-Man didn't need to be bit by the spider. It could have been someone else. That is possible. It makes you think about the canon stuff in a way different way. Or, like, in this scenario, if this person wasn't there, then actually the entire team would have died. You didn't think about that, but guess what? Yeah, it would have been fucked up.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get some of that stuff in What If here. Oh. Some of the real, like, how would this have changed the world? I imagine a lot of these are going to be in a bad way. Some of them are going to be like, this is a cool thing that could have happened. I imagine some of them are going to be like big apocalyptic things that they wouldn't want to do in the MCU because then they wouldn't have characters anymore.
Maybe for some of the evil ones, because there's a, from What Ifs, there's so many, like, what if this person won?
Yeah.
There's a shitload of those in the comics,
yeah.
I know.
I don't think they're going to do any of what some comics do, which is the, like, if Peter Parker was not bit by the spider, then actually in Age of Ultron would have murdered everyone.
Yeah.
But at the very end, the spider would have crawled through the radioactive wasteland and found Peter and then bit him anyways. Like, I don't think we're going to do anything super wacky or weird or, like, things where it's just like, why the fuck would this possibly happen?
Yeah.
Those are the what ifs I hate. The ones where it's like, well, if Peter was not bitten by a spider, then instead he would have been bored and he would have been driving around, he would have gone to a certain gamma testing facility, he would have been hit by the bomb, become the Hulk. It's like, why? What do you mean? That's not a what if. That's if, what if 5,000 things changed?
Yeah. I mean, it is true you would have the butterfly effect, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that's interesting too, but it's the, like, the what if that you're proposing is not what this issue is about at all.
Yeah, it's something fundamentally different, as opposed to the butterfly effect, which can have a layer of, like, well, maybe after a while this would have happened. Like, yeah, my initial example is bad.
Yeah.
It would be like, if the day after...
I mean, I think the initial reaction was, the example was good, but, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Saying, like, what if 5,000 different things happen? I mean, that is the nature of what if. But I see the example was good, the follow-up.
I got you.
I know what you mean. I think that's it. We're going to have some extensive discussions at the end, too.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do alright, let's butterfly effect this throughout the whole MCU.
Oh, yeah.
You know we're going to.
But okay, I think that's enough for now. We should actually watch the thing.
Maybe after this one, maybe after, like, 2 episodes or so, we'll probably do some of our own, like, what are some what-ifs that we think would be interesting? Not necessarily like, oh, I hope we see these, but, like, we'll do that after.
That'd be cool.
Let's jump into this. If you want to get the full length, check it out on the Patreon below for $4 a month. If you want to get all of the show, check it out on the Patreon below for $4 a month as well. Get early access, check all that out. Let's jump in. Okay, first off, the animation.
Holy crap.
They're doing such a good job of, like, okay, here's the shots where it's just talking, and we're going to have it be kind of like, I don't know, a little bit lower, not lower budget, like, that's the word I always use, but, like,
yeah.
You know, just lower detail, lower smoothness, lower everything in general.
Yeah.
Like, these are the ones where we can skimp one, and then the big action scenes are big and action and fucking awesome looking. The flow, the way the bodies move, especially with it being, like, it looks kind of like cel-shaded, looks a little bit CG.
It looks like, if I had to guess, I'd say that, like, a lot of it is CG, but then they're, like, rotoscoping over it. Like, usually rotoscope over, like, a human body. But for stuff like, a lot of this facial expressions especially, like, they're maintaining the art style, but they're doing things that would be a big pain in the ass to do in CG. So I think they're like drawing over
same with torsos. Their torsos do stuff I've never seen, especially like a cell shaded sort of torso do. Just because, like, I don't know what specifically cell shading animation complications are there, but either way, like, just the torso is like, the whole body like stretches and moves in the way that it does in like animation to make it look better. Versus like problems with CG stuff is like it's a very rigid model that, you know, if you don't want clipping, then it's got to be a certain way.
Yeah, and you need to either like, for Pixar stuff, you have to like individually like hand animate so many tiny little things.
Yeah.
And then for like lower budget stuff, you have to like, you know, like your model itself has a certain number of swivel points, and so like your brain starts to notice those as being the same thing.
Yeah.
Like on an action figure. But yeah, you don't get that for any of these.
No.
The only time they ever feel kind of wooden is like when they're standing still or whatnot.
Yeah, like when they're talking, when they're standing still.
Yeah, which is totally fine. I mean, that's what humans also do that to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, I appreciate them, you know, I appreciate something that understands like saving the budget or saving like the time for the important aspects and everything like that, rather than like just looking mediocre overall or whatever. But yeah, loved the animation style. It looked absolutely incredible. I can't say enough how much I fucking loved it. It looked like a lot of use of paintings as well, and some of that. Just a lot of different art styles going into this.
Yeah, like
the lighting in certain scenes looked crazily different.
And they did a really good job of like maintaining the feeling of the movie, but like still doing stuff that would be such a pain in the ass to do again, like in live action, even with like heavy CG. Yeah, like, you know, doing all the backgrounds again or like redoing certain moments. I really appreciate that, because it genuinely felt to me like a what if. Like, we went back in time and changed one thing, and that's it. Yeah. Like, I was noticing that it was animation, obviously, but it wasn't taking me out of it. It wasn't the, like, well, this is the lower budget version of the movie. If anything, this was the higher budget version of the movie.
Seriously. I mean, like, one, it feels very natural, too, because Peggy is someone who was a fighter and did have a lot of muscle and is extremely smart. Going into the Project Rebirth, whether it was called that or not, going into all that, like, just amplifies all of that. And, like, you know, smarter than Steve Rogers, so more like the classic, like, Spider-Man has to do 1,000 calculations when he does anything, Daredevil does. Any character, I mean, assume Captain America does with the shield as well. You gotta have, like, calculations being done in your head and shit like that. And she's already a fucking genius. Already knows so many fighting tactics and that. Doesn't have to like relearn all that kind of stuff.
And very much a good person. Oh yeah. Which is the other thing of, you know, like if some rando, like if, you know, if Anthony got into the serum, sorry, not Howard. Yeah. If Howard took the serum, I would not trust that captain.
Absolutely not.
Hell no. But Peggy's one of the only other characters I can think of in the MCU who I would trust with the serum.
I mean, I'm trying to think about Howard Stark. If just some random person got the serum, I would not trust them with it. But yeah, like, and so many interesting things as well. Like, the thing that changed the universe was her deciding to stay in the room. Yeah. Which was more a, like, delay thing. Yeah. Like, it did also make it so she was in the room so she could go into the thing as well. Yeah. But, like, none of that would have been possible if there wasn't that, like, momentary delay, so the assassin came out and did it before the experiment started. Yeah. Rather than afterwards. So, like, yeah, that's a cool, interesting touch. The idea that Howard Stark would create an Iron Man suit. Oh, yeah. It's so funny that, like, that is the hardest to, like, that's the hardest pill to swallow. Like, this is very cool, but imagining that Howard would do the exact same thing that Tony did, coincidentally.
I can buy it, though. Like, it seems like almost every idea that Tony's had is something his dad did, but immediately went, oh, I can't fucking do this, though.
That's true.
Like, that's the same thing with the arc reactor. It was just like, you know, even if it was giant, it's also going to be poisonous and it's going to kill everyone. You'd be really stupid to make this.
And yeah, also just, like, Tony does not have, like, bad babies, you know? He does not have, like, here's the invention I made where when you turn it on, it destroys every nerve in your body.
The only one I'd say is Ultron. Ultron was a bad baby.
Sure, but that, I mean, it wasn't... Yeah. It did... Yeah.
It was the, like...
Ultron's the one big bad baby.
Yeah.
But it wasn't solely him.
Yeah, it wasn't the same as Howard's Vat Babies, which are clear, like, why would you ever make this?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, his are like, I was trying to make a massager, but instead, when you use it, it breaks every bone in your body. And it's like, how are you a super genius? How did you accidentally do this? What do you mean? Just do a normal massaging amount. Like, what is wrong with you?
Why is this in a safe now? Why didn't you just get rid of this thing? You can't help anyone in the
Yeah. Versus, like, I don't remember, what was the one from Agent Carter where the scientist was like, there's one switch on this, and then when I turn the switch, I smell burnt toast. Is that the purpose? Tell me, I don't know. What, do you see it on the switch? I don't.
No.
But, and like, Tony's bad babies are, I tried to make a machine to save the world, and somehow it came to life. That's not really on the same ball.
Fair.
One is like, nobody on Earth can explain how this happened. The other one is, why did you make it break all their bones?
Fair enough, I'll give him that.
So yeah, but yeah, I would agree. It's not that Tony has built basically everything Howard has built, but better. Just he hasn't built everything Howard has. Everything Tony has built, Howard has already built, but not everything Howard built, Tony has built.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. But yeah, and it is only in this universe. It is only in the universe in which Steve Rogers could not be Captain America that he was like, I'm going to make a robot out of armor. Because he had the Tesseract. The Tesseract was not the thing that changed that. He had the Tesseract in the normal universe.
It was just seeing a small boy and going like, what if I made him big?
That's so fucking funny though, that like...
I do think genuinely, like, part of it might also just be Captain Carter. Like, he seems way more emboldened in this world. Like, he was already bold. Yeah. But I think that's the combo, like, you know, because he's the one who paints the shield and all that, and presents it to her. It's the big, like, I want you to be big. Like, you know, the world's telling you no, I'm telling you yes.
Yeah,
I feel like,
a good point.
I feel like that's the same energy he has towards Steve. It's the big, like, yeah, you had this one chance, didn't happen, I'm giving you a second chance, though.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. And, like, you know, he might be pushing a lot as well because he was very involved with all this and it got fucked up, and even though it wasn't his fault, you know, he could see it as like, oh, if my machine gets shot and it breaks, that's my fault.
Right.
I should have made it bulletproof. And like, you know, in Agent Carter, you know, his big thing is like, feel like his biggest mistake in life was what happened to Steve.
Right.
Like, you know, what he did shouldn't have... Like, you know, even though it's not his fault, it is his fault because he was involved with it in any way whatsoever, and so if it fails, it's his fault.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I can kind of see that being the case. Like, the fact that Steve wasn't able to be Captain America is my fault, and so I want to, you know, do this. And just in general, like, the fact, like, you know, they lost Erskine and all that shit and everything that, which was the same in the original, but either way. Yeah, going through the same... there was going to be a sacrifice at the end. That is a universal constant.
It's a constant. They can't be together. Unless you rewrite all of reality and go through time and be from another timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, also, just like the Tesseract stuff, also like, you know, having Peggy go to another dimension maybe and then come back, and that changing the flow of time works really well with, you know, what Endgame told us about how time travel works.
That's true. Like
that, you know, if you do a little twist and turn, you're in time and then it slows down.
Yeah, I wonder how that worked with Red Skull then. Was he waiting on Vamir? Is that what it was or something like that?
Yeah.
Was he just waiting there for like a few seconds?
Who knows? Because he didn't visually age really.
Yeah.
He was there for a bit, but not like 100 years.
Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. It's hard to say now.
Yeah, because we don't know if, like, I think a lot of people when they saw him were like, oh, the stone made him immortal and is punishing him because he's a Nazi. But it's also possible he just got there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Just arrived.
We also have, of course, you know, Red Skull bringing in, like, you know, the true, like, you know, whatever of Hydra.
Yeah. The Hydra, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting idea, because I remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is not canon, does something similar to that, with the, like, you know, there is a being in the, you know, like, in the stars that is, like, the original inspiration for Hydra.
Yeah, Hive.
Yeah.
Which, it was like a Hydra-headed thing, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, like, I really like what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did with the Hydra stuff. I think it's dope. But, like, I like the idea of actual Hydra stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird because this wasn't really a Hydra, this was just tentacles.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the same thing with the Hydra logo. Of like, why do you call it Hydra and then use tentacles?
Yeah.
That's something that's been mystifying people again for like 100 years.
I've never known. Don't know. I don't have any explanation. Don't make any sense.
I believe the comics at some point also do it's a tentacle thing that they saw one time.
I see. I mean, that's the only way you can explain it. It's just, I mean, the real explanation is that whoever's idea Hydra was in the comics, which I've gotten to them, but I don't know if it was Jack Kirby or Stan Lee or whatever. But whoever it was, I don't think they knew what a Hydra was.
I mean, it's probably the same reason why there's a guy named Gorgon whose thing is he stomps real hard. He's not connected to the Gorgons at all, except there's someone else named Medusa.
I mean, that makes sense, because Medusa was introduced first, then Gorgon was introduced, then the rest of the Inhumans were introduced. Fair. So it's like the two that were connected were Medusa and Gorgon.
Fair.
Again, where do you go with the naming scheme from there? I don't know. But that makes more sense than Hydra's logo being that.
Sure, fair.
Like, that's from the get-go, what was the idea?
Yeah, this is not what a Hydra looks like in any way.
But yeah, Marvel and naming things or like doing things has always been weird. What else? We got, it makes sense, but Bucky in this was like, when they went to go capture or when they went to go help all the prisoners, he was just with the other prisoners instead of like going through like the mind control stuff.
No, that happened. Wait.
When Captain America goes to break them all out,
yeah, you're right.
It's just Howling Commandos, and Bucky is separately getting the gay conversion therapy.
Right. He gets gay converted, then on the train he gets knocked off, and then they find him and then convert him more.
That's a joke that nobody's going to understand. It's an in-joke with us only.
Everyone knows what gay conversion therapy is. It's fine.
I mean, not specifically that. I mean,
we know Bucky's gay. It's fine.
But, yeah, like, that makes sense because in the original timeline, he is Captain America's best friend.
Yeah.
He is, he has so much connection to him personally that it would make a lot of sense to do that.
Yeah, whereas here he's just...
a guy.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
Like, he is, like, the one in charge of the Howling Commandos, but, like... Yeah, there's not much more than that. It's like, and this is also not a universe in which the Howling Commandos are, like... a scourge. So there's not a whole lot of reason to do that. So I appreciate that, like, not being the case there. We did just get essentially the invaders, not the real Howling Commandos and everything like that. But it is what it is. It makes more sense because you want to align it with the movie and everything like that. I get it.
I'm honestly very happy that seems like a thesis statement to me of, like, even if we could do something that is more comic booky, we're going to align more with, what realistically happened in the MCU, and then, like, the divergences are going to make sense for the most part. They're, like, almost entirely, like, all the divergences in this episode, completely fine. I don't have a problem with any of them, really.
The only one that feels the slightest bit like what if Peter Parker didn't get bit by the spider, he would become the Hulk, is the, like, Steve Rogers becomes Iron Man, essentially.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's a little bit like, I don't know what made Howard decide to do this.
Fair.
Again, we explained it a little bit in the beginning. I can justify it, but it's the only one that gets close. It gets a little bit close, but it's not quite there.
I actually don't know what the Hydra Stomper is. I've heard the name before. I know that's a thing, but I think it might just be a guy as opposed to a suit of armor.
But yeah, don't know anything about that. I don't know if Flynn was in the movie or not. Do you remember Flynn from the movie?
Genuinely have no idea.
Yeah. Don't remember or not. He was in the Captain Carter one-shot.
Okay.
But not the TV show, just the one-shot. He was just like, the head of one of the SSR bases, and then Peggy does some shit on her own. Howard calls her, and he's like, hey, you want to be leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Right.
Which I don't understand, because that seemingly never actually happens.
I mean, she does become director of S.H.I.E.L.D., though.
She does?
Yeah.
I guess she just steps down pretty quickly?
I guess so, yeah, because they do mention it, like, at her funeral in the later movies.
Okay.
Like, yeah, she was director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because I remember Ant-Man being the big one that made me go, like, oh, what happened? Like, she was director of S.H.I.E.L.D., then it seems like there was no director of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while, then Fury? I don't really know how that works.
Neither do I.
Not really sure. But either way, so that Flynn being here was cool. Asshole as always.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. what else? Is there anything else to talk about? Just the action was fucking incredible.
Really good, yeah.
These are not going to have... I thought these were going to have much longer discussions, but we're going to get into probably a longer discussion in a second, but...
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could go through the whole, like, what happens after this.
Yeah, I'm saying before we get to that...
Sure, yeah.
Anything you want to say about the actual episode?
Not really, because, like, a lot of the episode was very action-packed.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've talked about everything I want to talk about with the...
Red Skull was kind of a disappointment. Like, not getting his voice actor back was kind of... sucked.
Oh, I can't remember his name. He's the guy who does Agent Smith.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like, he's very old now and also expensive. So I'm guessing it was a real, like, we can't justify it. Like, they didn't even get him back for Endgame.
Wait, they didn't? That wasn't him?
No, that was a different guy.
Oh, did a good job. Didn't notice. Should have got that guy to do this voice.
You know, you do raise good points.
Why didn't they get that guy?
I don't know why I didn't get the guy.
Because I was going to say, if they got him back for Endgame, they should have got him back for this. I imagine they pay him less for a voice than they would an actual thing.
No. Because, yeah, I remember that being a thing that people brought up of, like, well, Red Skull's, you know, for whatever reason, like, you know, his actor didn't say anything about, you know, I'm going to be in Infinity War or Endgame, so he's not going to be there, so Red Skull's not going to be there. I mean, why would he anyways? Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, I did not know that at all. Good to know. Cause yeah, I could not tell that was not Chris Evans. Couldn't tell. I like when he first appeared, I was like, "Is that him?" Doesn't sound like him. But then throughout the rest of the episode, I was like, "No, that is him." Was not. But so you know, could have got somebody that did a better impression.
Yeah.
If, like for some, like I don't really normally matter. Like it honestly bothers me a little bit sometimes when I'm watching an animated show and there's someone who's like clearly trying to do an MCU impression. I'm like, why you didn't need to do this? Why'd you do this?
Right.
But for something like this, I feel like you need to.
Like, it is the MCU. These are the exact same characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not normally someone who cares about that. Just for this show, I do.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I care more about it for this than I care about it for even, like, keeping the actor around. Okay. Like, you want to switch out the actor later on?
Right.
Whatever, I don't really care. But this is, like, going back. So you want to, like... have it the same.
No, I totally get it. It's the, like, you have to recreate this moment in history. It's like when they went back to 2012 in Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't the same designs, like, if they updated the Hulk for whatever reason, you'd be like, that's not the way Hulk looked at that point. What the fuck?
Like, if we get a flashback of Iron Man 1 and it's the new actor for Rhodey, it's going to be like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you would understand, but it would just feel weird. So... Yeah. I think that's it for the episode itself. Let's jump into what the fuck would happen after all this. So, like, you know, the first Avengers, Avengers 2012. I mean, there's nothing really that would change because it's Captain Carter. There's honestly not a lot that would change via Captain Carter or Steve Rogers.
Yeah, because they're both just, like, the good person who rallies the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way... Honestly, probably a slightly bigger change with Iron Man, because now in the past his dad also made an Iron Man armor.
Yeah. So yeah, Iron Man would probably be like we're not just approaching you as a consultant, we are approaching you to be a part of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Because, like, your dad already built this, you built a better one. Him building the thing in the cave was probably, one, not as impressive.
Yeah.
Which it still is insanely impressive, but I don't think it would be, like, publicly as impressive.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, oh, he built the thing his dad built, or whatever.
Yeah, honestly, like, a lot of the early movies have that big, like, I'm living in the shadow of my father energy. And that would be, like, amped up so much more, because it would be a genuine, like, you know, I invented this thing that, you know, makes infinite energy. I can finally do the one thing my dad couldn't. Oh no, never mind. Iron Man 2, he did it. He just didn't tell anyone because it poisons your heart. No. In Iron Man 2, it's because it needs an impossible element.
Yeah.
But yeah. It'd be the big, like, what can I possibly do to get out of my father's shadow?
Which would seemingly be nothing, I guess.
Seemingly not.
The answer would be nothing.
But yeah, I'd be worried about Tony in that world. Not worried at all about Captain Carter.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Ultron would happen way faster. Ultron might also be around during Avengers 2012. They might have to deal with Ultron and fucking Loki.
I could see that being his project. Because also, like, he would know then that there are things from beyond the world, you know, because his father saw the Nazis summon a thing from beyond this world. Like, imagine that being what you're raised with. Like, there are unspeakable horrors out there.
Yeah. He would probably be working a lot closer with S.H.I.E.L.D. He's very laissez-faire before. Yeah. And then once the portal happens, it's way more drastic. So, yeah, I feel like... Yeah, he would be working with S.H.I.E.L.D. way more. He would probably be more militaristic. He would probably still be an arms dealer. Yeah. I don't think that would actually change at all.
Probably not.
Maybe like less, maybe not an arms dealer, but more like specifically like S.H.I.E.L.D. buying stuff from him, and him working with S.H.I.E.L.D. more. Like when Coulson approaches him in Iron Man 1, it would be again he approaches him in Iron Man 1 because of what? What the fuck was the reason why he approaches him in Iron Man 1? What would have been the reason? S.H.I.E.L.D. just wanting contracts, maybe?
Even that, I think it was because of the Iron Man armor. It's just they didn't settle on that because he's an asshole.
Right.
But it was the big, like, I want to introduce you to the Avengers Initiative.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the consultants when we got the big, like, no, he's not an Avenger. He's just consultants.
I mean, that was very, very, like... I think they were really testing the waters with that.
Yeah.
But... would they be testing the waters here, or would they just be straight up, do you want to be a part of the Avengers Initiative? Or would he be working with S.H.I.E.L.D. way before that? Because S.H.I.E.L.D. was formed when? In, like, the 60s?
Yeah. Like, that's when the SSR transitions to S.H.I.E.L.D.s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then in Captain Marvel, it was S.H.I.E.L.D.s.
Yeah. It might have even been in the 50s that it was S.H.I.E.L.D.
Sometime around then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Based on the Agent Carter one-shot, I think it might have been the 50s.
Okay.
Because that was S.H.I.E.L.D., not the SSR at that point.
Right, yeah, you're right.
So, something around there.
Around
it's around the time where bikinis were first being invented, so very old! Anyway, so yeah, he probably would have been working with S.H.I.E.L.D. From the get-go, not of S.H.I.E.L.D., but from the get-go of him being him.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very fascinating. How would his reaction with his father be? Because how would Howard be with all this? Because it's when Captain America's frozen in the ice, they're searching and stuff like that, but like they kind of gave up and then they coincidentally found him. I recall, right? It wasn't they found the ship, then they found him and all that stuff. It wasn't like they were continuously looking for all those years.
Yeah, they must have given up at some point.
Maybe they were. It's a big continent, but either way, I feel like Howard knowing about a portal to another dimension and like Peggy being in there would be like trying to crack the Tesseract for all these years, which S.H.I.E.L.D. was already. Yeah. So the timeline matches up there. Yeah, because the Tesseract fell into the bottom of the ocean, and they went and found that almost immediately.
Yeah, they got it. Some time passes. Eventually, Project Pegasus gets it. That's the
Captain Carter stuff. Or not Captain Carter, sorry.
Captain Marvel stuff. Yeah, that would probably be the same.
Yeah. But yeah, I just imagine a lot closer Howard and Tony working with them from the get-go. So yeah. Yeah. I imagine Ultron would be a big S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. Like Tony working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and that, but it would be a big S.H.I.E.L.D. thing as well.
Yeah.
Ultron might happen before Avengers 2012.
Maybe, because I feel like Ultron would probably take over the Project Insights slot for Hydra as well. Because they're both like, a thing that is worldwide that you could use for like surveillance, protect everything. Yeah.
They could like switch it on. Oh yeah.
Kill whoever you want.
Yeah, it'd probably be like, why would we need insight when we have this?
Yeah.
Or they might want insight at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, because this would also be a world where, like, giant suit of armor man is also a propaganda thing, is something people think of very fondly as, like, oh, it's the Hydra Smasher.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be pretty easy. Like, people are already in the MCU very, they think Iron Man looks dope as fuck.
Iron Man 1 probably would have never happened at all, because Tony would have had the suit beforehand.
Yeah.
A lot of the problems he was going through, I feel like he wouldn't be going through. A lot of the daddy issues, I feel like actually wouldn't be the case.
You raise good points.
It might be, but also, to be fair, we don't think about this. What if Tony actually doesn't give a fuck about other worlds because he grew up knowing about that?
Also possible, like...
Or he, learns via footage of his father, watches the tape of his father in Iron Man 2, and he's like, by the way, there's other worlds.
But yeah, that is interesting, because I imagine there'd also be, in the same way that they stopped searching for Steve after a while. I imagine the government would have done the same thing with Peggy. Like, they would have been searching really, really hard, funding research into the Tesseract to try and find her. Eventually, they would have hit a point in which they were like, okay, that's too much for one lady. Yeah. Like, we're gonna try other stuff. We're gonna, do the engine thing from Project Pegasus.
To be fair, they never figure out how the Tesseract works in the main timeline. It's Loki.
Yeah, you're right.
Loki just comes through.
Yeah.
So yeah, they actually never fucking figured it out.
Yeah.
So, they did figure it out in this timeline.
Yeah, because they have the incentive of, we need to get her back.
So yeah. They actually were doing it the entire time.
Damn.
Because otherwise, they probably wouldn't have been, looking into it as a power... I mean, to be fair, they were looking into it as a power source for not hundreds of years, but 70 years.
Yeah.
So, S.H.I.E.L.D's crazy. Who knows?
I mean, I feel like it's probably a similar thing to, Nick wanting to do the Avengers Initiative. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why Phase 1 happens. It's because he really has a hard-on for the Avengers.
Yeah.
So I imagine this is a similar, like, we can get Captain Carter. We just need to figure out how the fuck the Tesseract works. And no one else wants to do that. You guys want to use it to power a ship or something. Mm-hmm. Let's do the portal stuff. And then they figure out how to do the portal stuff.
Yeah.
Which, that could also, like, if Avengers 2012 happens, that would change the tide of that, because they know how it works. Like, they could turn off the portal, potentially,
Yeah.
Or even just, like, they wouldn't be testing it in the same way,
Yeah. Oh, there's so many possibilities.
Seriously.
It could go in so many different ways, actually. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I feel those are the main consequences of, like, big things. Once you start to ripple out further and further, it's hard to, like, say, like, what would happen in Endgame?
Yeah, it turns into fanfic after that point.
Yeah.
But, I think that area around Avengers 2012 that's a good place. I think we've discussed that pretty well.
Mm-hmm. But let's keep going a little bit further.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, Captain Carter, does she, when she's returning the stones, stay in that time? Or does she choose not to? And be a hero for the people at the current time.
Oh, man. I really don't...
I think she would not stay in there.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
It's tough.
Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But I think she is more of a self-sacrificing person than Steve is. Like, I don't know how to say more of a self-sacrificing person. More of a, like, how do I put it? I don't know how to put it. Because it's also, maybe after she's lived in the modern time for all that time, she would go back. Like Steve did. Yeah. If Steve was given the choice right off the bat, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. It's hard to say.
Because there's also the factor of, like, Steve gets to see old Peggy. He sees Peggy die. Peggy in this timeline would never have that satisfaction. It is just, like,
Steve also probably died much younger because he's pretty sickly.
True. But because also, like, Steve, when he wakes up in Avengers 2012, or right before then, he's shocked at first, then he acclimates fairly well, and then it's around Infinity War Endgame when he starts really, really longing for Peggy. Mm-hmm. Like, he has a lot of good years there, but then his mind turns back to the feeling of, like, well, I really, really regret this one thing in my life.
And after something that big.
Yeah.
But also, Peggy has, this sense of, like, she's gone through much harder stuff just being a woman than Steve has and everything like that. So I wonder if that feeling of giving that up would, like, because even though she's not giving it up physically, she's giving it up in the sense that she won't be doing stuff because she would be back there. Yeah.
Because also, like, if Steve has that, that desire, like, I didn't get the thing I wanted, I still, I feel unsatisfied. I feel like that might be part of the reason why he ended up, like, why Howard made him the Hydro Smasher suits. Yeah. Whereas Peggy's not that kind of person. She didn't go, like, oh man, there's a 1% chance I could have become Captain Carter. I feel really bad. Can you please make me a giant mecha suit? Yeah. So I do see what you're saying. I could see her being a more fulfilled person. Also, she has, like, Sharon, her niece.
That's true.
Like, she has more of a family, whereas, like, Steve has, like, nobody. Yeah. He has Bucky, and he has Falcon, and that is basically it in terms of, like, people that are not Avenger. I mean, even they're both basically Avengers. They are Avengers. Yeah, they are Avengers.
Like, he has no, like, family.
Yeah, he's no one who, there's no normal life. If he has a normal life, it is just he walks out by himself and gets pizza or something. Yeah. Whereas, Peggy would have had an extended family to come back to.
Also, Sharon Carter would never have had to go through everything she went through, which turned her into the Power Broker.
True. That's probably very good for the people of Madripoor. And just the world.
But that also means all of Falcon and the Winter Soldier doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But also, like, I actually, like...
Oh, boy.
Does Sam Wilson become Captain America? Because if she doesn't go back...
She'll be there forever, which is, in a sense, good for, some sorts of representation, bad for others. Yeah. Like, the world will change, not in a, like... If this is obviously bad or obviously good, just in a different way. Because also...
It would also be so weird to give Sam Wilson the UK shield. Oh. And you're just being like, oi, mate.
Have you thought about moving to Britain? Because, yeah, that's also, like, just the fact that one of the biggest heroes of the war is, a British soldier who is still propaganda for America.
Well, no, because they never did the tour.
You're right.
So, honestly, not even that big of a public figure.
No.
Like, I guess it's gonna be, like, in stories and stuff. It would be way closer to, like, what Captain America is in the comics. Like, where the comics are the big propaganda.
Right.
And, like, in-universe people are like, oh yeah, I've heard about Captain America fighting overseas. Or, like, you watch movies that are not Captain America acting in the movie, but someone else pretending to be Captain America. There'd probably be a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the big American hero in World War II then would have been Hydra Stomper.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the big, like, this is American technology, if,
And they still have it.
Yeah, so. Like, the guy we buy bombs from now is the son of the guy who made the Hydra Stomper back in World War II. Isn't that badass?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how much recognition she would get. I wonder, would anything change with Isaac?
Huh.
Like, I feel like that would also be the same, because at the end of the day, it's still a white woman.
Yeah.
Or, I emphasized on woman, but I should emphasize the white.
But yeah, I mean, representation for women, again, probably a lot better in this world.
Yeah. But probably doesn't change anything with Isaac and the others.
Yeah, it would still fuck him up so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I really like the idea of Carter being, like, Sharon Carter being a much bigger role in everything, because Peggy's actually there.
Yeah.
And, like, what would Peggy's relationship with Sam be? And, like, also, no Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky just died, presumably, like, just, of old age, or he'd be super old at the very least.
And, like, let's say Captain Carter does go back and give the shield to Sam, and now he's taking the UK shield and all that. What does that mean for Sam not having Bucky for the whole, like, Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff? Like,
because I really don't know if Sam would have what it takes without, like, someone there by his side.
Because also, he doesn't have to worry about the Flag Smashers, because there would be no Flag Smashers, because there'd be no Power Broker.
Right.
But also, there would be no Bucky to help, like, work through the issues of the shield and everything like that. But also, maybe Peggy would be the Bucky to help him through, because she is also someone who took up the shield. I mean, well, it's not someone who took up the shield, but someone who became a very public hero. In a very, like, through adversity and everything like that.
Yeah. I could see that dynamic being really good, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of fascinating shit to go in there.
Oh, man.
Any other moments throughout the series that you want to, like, touch on? Like, what if that moment was Peggy? Yeah, I can't think of any particular ones.
Civil War, I think, would be very thematically different, because that is the big, like, the Starks now saying, like, no, I've been selling weapons to the government for years. I think we should be ruled by the government. And Peggy doing the big, like, I have always been on the run. I've never been, like, no one's ever taken me seriously. Even when I forced them to, they've still been taking credit for all my shit. Yeah. Like, I think it would be the exact same splits, but more intense.
Also, who's running S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, yeah.
Is Howard the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. now? It's interesting that he hired Peggy to be director of S.H.I.E.L.D., not him. Yeah. Well, I guess it was him, then it was her? Were they two doing it together, or?
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it would have to be, presumably, like, if Howard doesn't want to be director of S.H.I.E.L.D., it would have to be someone else. Yeah. And then that would be potentially bad, because, again, S.H.I.E.L.D. is Hydra. And I imagine, Peggy was, at least some small force in stopping them from going big bad while she was director.
Yeah, she seems like the best director of S.H.I.E.L.D., hands down. I mean, just by nature, if whenever there was crazy shit, she's like, let's destroy this, rather than keep it around and figure out what other fucked up shit we could do with it. Oh, yeah. So I feel like Ultron's gonna happen way sooner, because S.H.I.E.L.D.'s so fucked up, and Tony's a part of it, and like, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad.
It's gonna be bad, but we're gonna have some good-ass Avengers, so hopefully they cancel out.
I would love to see the dynamic between, like, Black Widow and Captain Carter. Oh, yeah. Like, Wanda and Captain Carter. Because especially, like, Wanda, the closest person on the Avengers with Wanda is, other than Vision, is Captain America. So I think the dynamic between her and Captain Carter would be very fascinating. Yeah. Now, would Pedro live somehow? Not Pedro.
Pedro?
Pedro! Pietro.
Pietro.
I don't know why I was just being like, is there any way that he would live? I don't think so. I don't think it would change anything.
No, it doesn't change anything.
No.
There's no way.
No.
I mean, to be fair, if Ultron happens sooner, then he's not going to be there.
Oh, we saved Pietro.
Yeah, the twins would not be involved at all in Ultron if Ultron happens that much sooner.
It's true. The twins would also be more pissed, probably, for longer.
Yeah, because Stark would be so much worse at that point. It would be, instead of we were stuck under a big warhead, it would be, we were stuck under a giant suit of armor that kept on screaming, I will murder you! But for some reason, its murder function never activated for 3 days.
Oh.
We don't know how.
Any other big moments? Like, Captain America and the Winter Soldier wouldn't happen.
No. But yeah, the loss of Bucky doesn't change that much, honestly.
I mean, would they make another different Winter Soldier, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Which would also
But would it work on anybody but Bucky?
I mean, Bucky's not like, he's not the only one, because they made other ones, but he was the only good one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was the only one that didn't lose his mind.
Yeah.
So, like, and that's, could they find another person? Maybe. But it's a comic thing of, like, is anybody as strong-willed as Bucky?
Yeah, like, Bucky is, in a sense, the only one.
Mm-hmm. And then, also, probably a much easier movie, because it would just be, I guess we kill him.
Yeah, there's no moral struggle here.
Yeah, there's not a huge moral struggle.
If they don't make a Winter Soldier, no 9/11.
Oh, no Iraq War.
No Iraq War.
No, so much in history.
But also other fucked up things would happen. The Red Room would be 10% more fucked up because they do the big, like, oh yeah, we believe in girl power. Have you seen Captain Carter?
Oh no! Oh no!
Listen, you're not nearly as good as Captain Carter. We're gonna beat you more.
No. I don't think the Red Room would like Captain Carter. I think that, Red Guardian.
I fought Captain Carter in the 80s.
I mean, really nothing would probably change there very much.
No.
But probably be way more sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to discuss.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're missing some, like, big moments. That would be fun to discuss.
But yeah.
But, hey, if you got a question for us, hit us up in the comments. We'll, like, both kind of respond to it, like, oh, here's what we think would happen.
Absolutely. I promise that for certain.
Because I love thinking about this kind of shit.
It's so cool.
I love it. It's kind of shit we do on our own constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we do the constant, like, what if the Ant-Man movie happened in Phase 1? Like, what would you change about it? Would you have Henry Penn be a big part of it?
Also, I mean, my last thing, out of universe, but if Captain Carter, the first Avenger, is a women-led movie in Phase 1, that would just be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd just be pretty fucking cool.
Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
This, between this and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they have sold me on Steve Rogers ain't shit.
Oh, no.
they really sold me on he ain't shit. Okay, Sam Wilson, better. Captain Carter, better.
Oh, no. Oh, we had better not get another what if X person was Captain America, because I'm losing my... No, you gotta understand Steve is great.
I do love Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we've said it 1,000 times, but the big sad for the MCU is just that we don't see Steve when he's being his most Steve.
Yeah.
Which is, again, post-Civil War. We just never see that period, which is... If we saw that period, maybe I would say he's cooler.
Yeah. No, I getcha.
But yeah. That's it.
That is it.
Now, we say we do this. Is there any, like, what ifs? What kind of what ifs are you really interested in? Like, this is not a, like, oh, here's ones we really want to see. We're really upset if we don't see these.
Okay.
Not that. The idea that we'd be able to guess any of these is impossible.
There's no way.
If there is one I would have guessed, and it's the one that I know. But that's obvious. Either way, I thought it was going to be the first one too, but apparently not. Either way, I mean, I've always been interested in. A lot of our what ifs are so specific. Like, what if the Ant-Man movie was in Phase 1? Yeah. But that's not really a what if.
That's not really a what if. How would that make any sense?
And, like, a lot of them were like, I don't know if that'd be that interesting as what if. Like, what if Thanos was in love with Death and it wasn't this stupid shit?
Yeah, because that's also not really a what if in the sense of, like, for want of a nail, you change one thing.
Yeah.
We'd have to go back to his childhood and do a quick, actually, listen.
So what would be some good what ifs? Like, what's a good what if this person didn't die?
Because the one that I immediately want to see, but I don't know how the MCU would do it, would be just like, what if Gamora never left Thanos' side?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Like, what's one you want to see if what if All wins?
Ooh.
Like, what if Thanos wins? I think what they would do.
Yeah, but it's too easy. It's too obvious. Like, just in a...
This one's easy and obvious. I don't think I would have been able to guess it, maybe. But, it's very obvious.
I guess the one I would want, which is also extremely obvious, is what if Loki succeeded in Avengers 2012?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because that's definitely a big, dark timeline, but also very curious to see what they would do with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's hard. There's not a lot of, like, what if this thing happened to this person instead, or what if this thing didn't? Like, there's not a very interesting, like, what if Peter Parker didn't get bit by the spider in this?
Yeah.
Like, what if who didn't get what? Yeah. I don't know. It's honestly hard for the MCU to pick, like, what ifs that aren't, like that could make a whole episode, and not like something I just personally want to see. And like in a what if?
It's a toughie.
Yeah. I can't think of anything actually. I would. It would be so hard to do, but honestly, I do just want like what if Ant-Man was a founding Avenger? I think or what if Hank Pym was an Avenger?
Okay.
Maybe phrase it like that. What if Hank Pym was an Avenger?
I think that'd be interesting because Hank is so old.
Yeah.
Like, I think they could still do something that's very, like, you could only do this in the MCU, and it is appealing towards people who, who know the comics, but also it's not just, what if we did, like, the comics?
Yeah. Yeah. Can't think of anything else. You got to give an example. I give all the examples.
Hey, I gave one.
That's true, you did.
I guess my other one would be... I just want to say, what if Ned got bit by the spider?
What if who?
What if Ned got bit by the spider?
Ned.
That doesn't make any sense.
What if Thanos got bit by a radioactive spider?
Oh, no!
I mean, what if there were no Avengers, maybe?
I could see...
Like, not in the sense, like, what if there was a world with no heroes? But what if they weren't the Avengers? They were just all acting separately or something.
Yeah. I think that would actually be very fascinating to see, like, the Watcher bits where he explains how it goes, because it would go on for a bit longer. It would, I imagine, be the, like, because Tony is a piece of shit, he doesn't get anyone to join the Avengers, because they're all like, why is this piece of shit here? Fuck him. And then Coulson dies, and they're all like, we fucking hate Coulson. He said some racist things. Never mind, we're all leaving.
Canceling Coulson.
Okay, my final one is, what if T'Challa's dad never died?
Is that interesting?
Because then T'Chaka's an Avenger. He's super old.
I mean, that's just the what if this guy was, what if this old guy was an Avenger?
What if the Avengers was all old guys, like Odin is Thor? Howard Stark.
What if the dads were Avengers?
Howard Stark is Iron Man.
Odin is Thor, or Odin is Odin. T'Chaka is T'Chaka.
Yeah. Black Widow's mom is Black Widow. She's still around.
Yeah. We can't really do that with Captain America.
Can't really do that with Hulk either.
No, can't. General Ross.
General Ross gets hit by the bomb. Not by the bomb, by the experiments. Becomes Old Man Hulk.
Yeah. We got Hank Pym. We got who else? One of Pietro's parents.
Oh no!
What if they became Nazis?
Well,
it falls apart. It's like, who's Vision? Ultron?
Well,
we've done Ultron it.
We figured out a way to make even more of the Avengers old white men.
Oh no! We've done it!
Except for King T'Chaka.
We've done it!
Maybe we shouldn't be allowed to do this.
God.
You have anything else?
No, I don't think so. It's so hard to come up with good what ifs for these.
Well, we've got 9 more episodes. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, if we come up with other ones, we'll mention them. I thought this was gonna be a cool segment. It's not. It's not that interesting. What if all the Avengers had pets?
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. We'll see you guys for the next episode.
Subscribe to the Patreon. Leave comments.
Subscribe to the Patreon. Leave some comments. Do a dance and film yourself and send it to me on Twitter. What?